guys, and welcome back to Kellie TV. So I've been looking forward to Fear the Walking Dead for several months, and now that I've seen the first episode, I definitely think the show has a lot of potential. So this episode begins in an abandoned church, and this is where we meet the show's main character, Nick, who is a drug-addicted high school student. Now, Nick thinks he's totally tripping out when he starts to see some pretty crazy stuff going on in the church. To mention one would be his girlfriend, because she's actually feasting on a dead person, so he knows that's totally not normal. And because of this, he kind of freaks out, panics, runs out into the middle of the street, and gets hit by a car. But we realize that the outside world, outside of that abandoned church, is not in chaos right now. It's not like the setting for The Walking Dead. People are still going about their normal lives, doing normal things. There hasn't been like all-out anarchy yet, but we know that's coming because there's only 6 episodes total for this season of Fear the Walking Dead. So Nick's mom is a guidance counselor at his high school. He also has a sister named Alicia, who's also a student at that high school, and Nick's mom's boyfriend is a teacher at that high school. All very connected. Probably all will mean one thing here pretty soon, because school will definitely not be in session. But anyway, it looks like we're going to be seeing a lot of this family over the next 5 episodes, and I thought for the pilot episode the acting was very strong from the leads of this show. So, even though things seem kind of normal, like I said, and people are doing their normal things like going to work and going to school, there have been zombie sightings all over the US, but people don't really know that they are actually zombies at this point. They don't know what to call them. They don't know what's going on. But some of the people in LA are kind of figuring out that something's not right, especially one of the students who seems to kind of have a good idea that this is a very, very, very serious problem and he needs to protect himself. And it's making me wonder, like, how many people will survive this season of Fear the Walking Dead? How many of these characters? I'm wondering if all of the characters will end up dead, actually, because I don't know where this series is going. Is it just going to be a one-time thing, or are they going to try to continue it and have multiple seasons? If it's a one-time thing, I think everybody dies. If not, perhaps some of the main characters will survive, but I think we're going to lose a lot of the people that we are introduced to because it is such a short series, or at least first season. So we do learn that Nick's sister Alicia has a boyfriend who also goes to the high school, and his name is Matt. I don't think we're going to be getting to know him that well, and I'll tell you why in just a little bit. So Nick's mom's boyfriend is trying to figure out what exactly happened to Nick at that church, so he decides he's going to go check it out for himself, and he sees this guy who's totally freaking out. Now, it may be because this guy is on drugs, but most likely it's because he's seen some zombie-like activity, and he knows that that is really not a bad place, or not a good place to be. Plus, Travis falls in a puddle of blood, and he's like, oh my gosh, this place is completely creepy, which, yeah. Now, I don't know if we're supposed to believe that this is kind of where this outbreak started, like in that church where all the drug users and homeless people hang out. I'm not really sure. Maybe they'll clear that up. Maybe they won't. But it should be interesting to find that out. So Nick is actually able to escape from the hospital after he thinks that his roommate or the guy next to him may totally be turning into a zombie, or something's just totally not right with him, which I think that's probably a pretty good assumption. When he dies, he might be turning. I don't know. He was acting really weird. So he's able to escape, but he's totally tripping out himself, and he's still not completely sure if it's the drugs or if it's something else, or if he's actually going crazy. Things are just not looking good for Alicia's boyfriend that I talked about a little bit earlier, Matt, because they were supposed to meet up at the beach and he never shows, and then later in the episode when all the chaos is happening, he is not like responsive, he's not texting her back, and everything's kind of crazy and he's nowhere to be found. So I think if we do see Matt again, he will be walking slowly and looking to have a few meals, and by meals, I mean looking to eat people. Anyway, so more zombies are popping up around LA, and the police don't know how to deal with them because they soon realize that if you shoot them in the heart, that doesn't stop them. You can shoot them a billion times, but you know, we got to go for the head here. And they haven't figured it all out yet. Like I said, this is not The Walking Dead, so they're not as advanced on zombie education, I guess, at this point. So a frazzled Nick wants to meet up with his drug dealer named Calvin because he wants to ask him, like, did you give me some bad drugs, or was it laced with something? Like, what exactly did you give me? Calvin's like, no, I did not give you anything strange. But Calvin freaks out because he's been so inquisitive, and then his parents, or his mom and her boyfriend, have been trying to ask Calvin questions. So he's like, you know, this guy's got to go. So he drives Nick to this really shady part of, I guess, LA, and he's intending to kill him, but Nick is actually able to get the gun from Cal and kill Cal, which in most stories it would be like, okay, well, he's kind of solved that problem, but of course, not this one. You see, what happens is Nick tells his mom and her boyfriend that he has killed Calvin. They're not really sure if they should even believe him because he's so manic, but they go to look for Calvin's body, and yeah, I guess you could have figured this out. It's not there. And that's because they actually meet up with Calvin, and he is missing part of his face, and he looks all crazy, and yes, he is a zombie. And he even tries to bite Nick's mom, but I'm pretty sure he missed her. Anyway, Nick tries to kill him by running him over, and they shoot him and everything, and hey, that doesn't work. So the episode ends with with Calvin actually still being alive, and Nick and his mom and Travis are just like, what the heck is going on here? So I was pretty impressed with this first episode. I was glad that it was 90 minutes, and I think it was longer because, like I said, this season is short. Now, I did think there were some slow moments when I initially watched it during the premiere when it was live on TV, but after watching a second time, there were some things that I didn't catch the first time, and I actually could appreciate it more, and I feel like it's going to be a successful series, and I'm really excited to see where they're going to go with it. We kind of know where they're going with it, I guess, because I feel like it'll lead right up to the premiere, basically, of the very first season of The Walking Dead, but I could be wrong, because if they're going to put this into multiple seasons, I don't know where they're going to go with it. But again, I was impressed with the acting, and I feel like this will be the tamest episode that we see all season, and the one with the least gore, because I think it's going to go all zombied. Like, for the rest of the series, since it's only, or the season, since it's only 5 more episodes. So I want to know what you thought about the premiere of Fear the Walking Dead. I would love for you to leave your comments down below and let me know if you're excited for the rest of the season and where you think where you think they're going, and who do you think is going to live and who is going to die, or are they all going to die? I think a zombie has like taken over my brain at this moment because I'm a little slow. I'm slowing down. But anyway, thanks again for watching this episode of Kellie TV, and I'll see you next time.